Welcome, friends, to the Week in Truth, number 41. Before we continue, just a quick reminder that I don't particularly care if you like or subscribe or any of that stuff, because my channel is not monetized. So you can do what you like. I don't need the friends, frankly. Anyway, this video is a special about the Capitol Hill riots. I just thought I would take the chance to explain again that exactly what I said would happen is happening. And so let's start. First thing I wanted to point out is this BBC webpage article, which goes on about the QAnon among the protesters. I've said this many times before, and on my two different YouTube sites, Queen of Words and Queen of Swords, which has got a 12-week ban, you will find lots of exposés on the figureheads leading the so-called truth movement. People often call it conspiracy theory stuff. I've been following this for 12 years, and I have come to the conclusion that most of the people who are the leaders of this movement are working for MI5 or the CIA or whatever, and I've got very good reasons to suspect this. If you watch a few of my videos, you will notice there are patterns to the behaviour. They've all got this cover story that they're grifters or they're out to make a buck somehow. And basically, all they ever do, if you're a follower, is get you into trouble. And exactly what I said would happen is starting to happen. And these people have been misled so badly that they are now doing things which endanger people like me, who are genuine truthers. I'm not a flat earther. I'm not an extremist. I don't believe that the people who run the world are, have any good intentions for the likes of you or I, right? The thing is about the truth movement that about 65% of what people like David Icke say is perfectly correct. But he and his friends are misleading you. They're pushing you in a right-wing direction. And what the plan is, with them being employed by MI5 and the CIA and people like that, is to get us labelled as domestic terrorists so that we're easy to lock away, whether that be criminalisation or mental health acts and that kind of thing. And that is basically what being misled like this is doing, and I'll give you some examples. If you think this is extreme, I have a number of videos which explain it to you at a rather slower pace, and those are done under the label Truth Hoax, and that will explain it to you a bit more thoroughly than I will in this video. So let's look at this Capitol Hill lot. You see this guy here. This article calls them QAnon, and it says they are far right and they are supporters of fringe online conspiracy theories. And this guy apparently is Jake Angeli, a well-known supporter of the baseless conspiracy theory QAnon. He calls himself the QAnon shaman. It goes on to talk about extreme ideas and conspiracy theories and all the rest of it. Now, maybe it's occurring to you, as it's occurred to me, that to include a certain amount of rubbish with the truth then makes the truth also look like rubbish. That's basically what's happening here. A lot of that stuff that has been said to be conspiracy theories has turned out to be true. But of course, you start dumping stuff in there about adrenochrome and children being rescued from tunnels during COVID, and Ellen DeGeneres being under house arrest, all sorts of bizarre stuff like that. Of course, it sounds like rubbish, but really the people that are running the world are not the people that you want to be running the world. That's the biggest truth. And that's what's being hidden. And it's being hidden by loads of rubbish conspiracy theories like QAnon, which of course are not true. So anyway, this is what's happening. Now, bearing in mind the facts about what happened yesterday, The only person who has lost their life, or people who've lost their lives, are just normal citizens, not politicians, not not Joe Biden, not anybody significant. But yeah, we have this meme that I found in Facebook today, and it says, "Here's a protester in the Capitol with a handgun on his hip and zip ties to take congressional hostages." Well, as I've just reminded you, no hostages were taken. Hundreds of people were talking about doing this openly in pro-Trump online forums. Okay, so here we have the exaggeration to use in order to get social media even further restricted than it already is. They were also talking about executing elected Democrats. Donald Trump is a terrorist leader. So here we go again. Domestic terrorist is a word that you are going to hear increasingly, I would think. This is not good for people like me who are a more rational kind of truther. I don't call myself a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe that the things I believe are conspiracy theories at all. Right, that's a word or a phrase that has been used to put people off searching for the truth. Lots of people have seen things that they can't explain, and they come to people like David Icke looking for answers, and I can't say I blame them because, that was my story too. So in one of these UFO groups today, I saw this, and it says, "Okay, this is disappointing. I was attacked in a conversation in a public group as a conspiracy theorist because I believe in the Roswell incident that there were aliens. They even equalized me with flat earthers," which, this is increasingly going to happen because those conspiracy groups are now full up with people who believe ridiculous things. It's becoming harder to separate people out that are like me from people who are, believe very extreme things. And this has been done on purpose. The people who lead the groups have deliberately led people in that direction. And also, there are a lot of sock puppet accounts, by which I mean there are accounts on social media that probably just belong to one person. They've got like 150 different accounts, and they're posting, "Oh yeah, I believe in flat earth. Of course it's true because of this." And like the apparent number of people who believe in it persuades other, usually rational people, to believe it. But unfortunately, the way to deal with this is not to crack down on social media. It's for people to listen to things like I'm saying and realise why this is being done. This is a message that is, I copied this from Facebook. This is from 23rd of April 2020. And it's more about this. This is a message from Greater Manchester Police in the UK about online radicalisation. Are you worried about someone? Are they repeating conspiracy theories? Are they speaking to people who are spreading hate? So once again, we're getting this bad name. It's not really justified. And the people who should be blamed for it are the intelligence agencies that are controlling this. They put these people like David Icke and Simon Parkes there, and they are the people that are whipping it all up. So you see, this is unfortunately something that has gone along with the pandemic and the people who won't wear masks and whatnot, which is, it's a ridiculous thing not to do. And this is what you look like to other people. And the majority of people will not care if they drag us off to the gulags, because this is what they think of you. And you look like a twat, to be honest. I can't say that I blame them for completely rejecting everything there is to do with the truth movement when they see people acting like this who care so little about their fellow human beings. And indeed, I had a video removed from YouTube that discussed what the whole COVID hoax thing was about. And basically, it's a complete lie that's been put about in the truth community, and for some reason seems to have been accepted. I wish people would develop a bit more discernment, but you know, you can see where this is heading. I've been seeing where it's been heading for a few years now, and I can't see why people just can't see it. They are being misled by the fakes that are in charge of this movement. And if you think it is so unlikely that the people that I talk about would be in the employ of MI5 or whatnot, the taxpayer has very deep pockets. And if we look at the cops campaign in the UK, there's been an ongoing public inquiry into what the police have been doing with Special Branch over the last 30, 40 years, since the late 60s. They have been putting undercover cops into activist movements, almost everything that you could think of, from feminist movements to anti-racist movements. They have had undercover policemen pretending to be activists. They've had relationships with activists, usually male policemen, who have had long relationships with female activists to the extent of fathering children and then disappearing, usually under the pretense of mental health issues. There is an ongoing public inquiry to this. This is one of the YouTube channels devoted to it. And there's another one called Police Spies Out of Lives, which is also really good. Now, the thing that you'll notice about this is the extent to which the police got involved in running the activist groups. So they became trusted members of the groups. They became treasurers, leaders. They decided what the groups would do, which directions they would go in. And they also played a role a bit like the classic agent provocateur. So they would suggest things to other members of the group, like they would plant bombs in certain locations like department stores or whatnot. They planned all sorts of things. So you can see where this is going. If this was the police, what do you think MI5 do? I would suggest to you that they run groups. A long time ago in the Soviet Union, they actually set up fake activist groups and underground groups that were against the communist regime. The KGB set them up. One of them was called the Monarchist Union of Central Russia. And so all the people that joined and became members got caught and sent to the gulags or put into the psychushka, the psychiatric wards that were, forced admission, like a psychiatric prison. And I think that's really where we're going with this. People think this is a free country. It's not a free country, and it's only going to get worse. But unfortunately, the people in the truth movement have acted like a load of suckers. They haven't seemed to have noticed what is going on, that the suggested things that are happening, like the earth is flat and that actors are paid to hoax terrorist events and stuff, that it's got so out of hand. People haven't been able to discern. Well, some people have. I'm not the only one who's doing videos like this, but I'm nobody. I've got hardly any subscribers, and the people like me are not big and famous YouTubers. In fact, if somebody does get famous rather quickly, it's usually a bit of a warning sign that they are not genuine. Anyway, I think you kind of got the idea of where this is going. Going back to this, the rioting people. I don't know what to say about this. I mean, people have pointed out also that these protesters seem to get inside the building very quickly. They didn't have to do very much at all to get in there. It's almost like it was allowed to happen. And to show that these people are domestic terrorists, they're the people we should all be scared of now. And nobody will care as the people protesting about the truth and what is coming in terms of the regime that will be inflicted upon us. They're just going to get thrown in jails and nobody will care because, well, I don't have anything in common with these people. I'm ashamed to be associated with them. So that's really all I can say. Tatty bye, folks.